Hello, 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 and welcome. Welcome back. Episode 87. Yay. Woohoo! Working in the seventh chakra, the Sahasrara, in this vast, vast universal identity. It's kind of hard to grasp the magnitude of the area in which we are stepping into and experiencing. So be gentle with yourself in this area because it is vast and it is the unseen. So for some, it may offer some challenges, but be curious. I invite you just to simply be curious of where we're expanding to and the potentiality behind it. My name's Deborah O'Neill. I am the CEO and founder of blissbee.me, and I'm here to share because I care. What a better time to turn on your caring button. It was something that was bigger than me, that I had every excuse not to make that first episode. I had every obstacle in my way. Every little piece of me was shaking as I pressed live that first day, March 24th, 2020. And here I am. I am loving this. Thank you for being here on this journey. So I've pulled in some information so that we can look at different ways that we can experience this vast, vast area. Because I find that everybody has a way of experiencing this area when you get a chance to actually become aware and experience it. So let's pull in that information. Let's pull in those experiences and see how they are described often in metaphors. So when I spoke yesterday, I spoke about, taking this deep dive into consciousness, into this river of consciousness. And one of my favorite people, Anadea Judith, she explains that exactly like a river in this watery body that we are, and that guided meditation that we had about the lake. I think it's great to stay in this water theme right now and take a look at how she describes it as being on the banks of a river. So I just invite you to bring your feet to the floor as we go into this little exploration. And I'm going to read some of my highlighted areas and relate it back to where we are experiencing this. And then I guess perhaps maybe tomorrow or something, we'll take a look at a review of the sixth chakra, because I didn't get to do that review of all the things that we uncovered in that time period. One of them is that we, from this witness standpoint. So I invite you just to sit back and turn on your listening skills as we go into what she calls her three distinct system levels of human consciousness. And then, there'll be another time I'll talk to you about the psyche's level of human consciousness. So she looks at it as the rational consciousness, and the mythical consciousness, and the evolutionary consciousness. So the rational is sort of what we've made sense of in the lower energy centers. And the mythical comes up into when we cross over from the heart region into that more of the unknown. This is kind of like the rainbow bridge between the mind and the body. So the rational body and into the mind, the mythical, and then up into the evolutionary. So we begin by, she says, sitting on the riverbank, watching the water flow by. This represents the rational system, where knowledge comes from the science and the logical, the empirical means, so to speak. The essential activities of this mode are observation and enactment. This is where we characterize by I or it relationship, subject to objects. We talked a lot about those objects that come into our lives, that start to form that desire and that grasping. We do things to it and observe its reaction. That's what we're taught as a child, cause and effect. Things to it and observe its reaction. We learn as much as we can from outside the stream. But as we lean closer and closer to the water and attempt to understand its deeper mysteries, we eventually fall in. Welcome to your river. Immersed in the river, our perspectives shift dramatically. This plunges us into the mythical system. Many people choose to remain on the stream banks, forever gathering data. They think they'll gain enlightenment simply by accumulating information. They watch and learn, but never become a part of something larger. When we fall into the river, we shift from observation to experience. Immersed in the flowing water, we are no longer on the outside looking in, but are part of the mythical aspect of the stream, a force greater than ourselves. If we embrace this mythic level and choose to swim in the river for a while, we no longer view our relationship with the river as I and it, but as I and thou. Now we're moving up. Here, subject embraces subject. The river has a life force of its own. It's going somewhere, and it's taking us along with it. We can try to foolishly swim upstream, or we can allow its force to take us on a journey. We identify and embrace. This knowledge is our foundation, the necessary lower chakra orientation of consciousness. It tells us a little about how to swim, a skill we can only learn by getting wet. Once swimming, we cannot explain how many gallons of water to push your hands or even how often to stroke. We can only learn by feel and by doing, as it is with the stream of life as well. The mythic level, we battle forces that have lives of their own. In order to survive, we must become one with that force. But we have to leave the stream bank to have this experience. This is the aspect of spirituality. This involves letting go. The stream bank is our familiar world, our rational mind, our safety, and our security. It is our body of knowledge. The rational system does not disappear, but it is transcended by a deeper experience. Becoming one with the river does not mean that we lose ourselves. It's our will has to engage and drive our feet to kick in this water. Our will is our third chakra. That's our will. That's where the flame is, the fire, the passion. We have to learn our relationship to the river and interpret our many feelings. Once we jump fully into the stream of energy flowing through our bodies and our lives, we're forced to deal with larger challenges. We are forced to evolve. By this merging, not just jumping in, but learning to swim until it's a glorious, free-flowing dance. Now we move to the evolutionary system, where I and thou become we. This is the expansion into the universal mind, the union with divine, where we were formed to a greater and deeper whole. Again, we do not lose the I. We reframe it. I now includes all. While it's important to give up attachments to the lower egos and to become one with divine is not to abandon the self. And we talked a bit about archetypes. It's the archetype of wholeness. But to realize that divine consciousness is who that self really is. To become one with divine is to dissolve or transcend the boundaries that keep us separate. These boundaries exist in our mind alone. I thought that was a great explanation of where we're at, because I find it's so vast, and there's so many different experiences that have been experienced by great scholars and sages and gurus and people that have experienced that enlightenment or that samadhi or that vastness. And as you experience this vastness, you'll have your own experience as well. But we have to get off the riverbank. We have to feel the water. We have to have the will to kick our feet and learn how to swim and find the gloriousness with that will as we transcend into the possibilities and the realities of what's available to each and every one of us. You, me, the world at large. And looking at it from that witness. She talks a lot about witness, and we've talked a lot about witness. So I think tomorrow we'll take a look at her explanation of what she defines witness as. And taking a look at these different explanations are simply the opportunities to have an aha moment so that the penny can drop. And then we can get a greater self-realization for you, for me. And once we get that self-realization, you go, gosh, the curtain, right? The curtain is opening. It makes sense. I get it. I experience it. Let's feel our feet on the floor again. Let's bring our sit bones back onto the chair. If you're laying down or reclining, whatever's supporting your body at this time. It's a journey. It's such a journey. And I love how Anadea has related it back to a river. Because it is a flow. It's movement. It's action. We can just read and collect data. But I don't think that's where we want to be. And if you're here, I don't think that's where you want to be. So thank you for being here. Let's engage our imagination and bring in that etheric feet as we ground, center, and align again every day. Every day. This is where we start. This is the place where our feet won't stumble. We won't fall down and break a hip. We have less of a chance. Or break a bone. We have less of a chance. And if you're grounded, have somebody just try to push you over. If you're ungrounded, you're caught off guard. You're a little bit up here. You're just like potentially we can fall over or be pushed over. Not if we're grounded, not if we're centered, and not if we're aligned. Right down to that crystalline core of the earth. I love getting that image in. Every time I ground, I ground into that image. And when I'm standing, I roll up onto the balls of my feet a little bit and I put out my yoga toes, because it's the yoga toes. When you're doing one-legged poses and stuff, you need to spread those toes, grasp them onto the floor, engage those 4 points of the feet. And feel it as we take that etheric line or those tree roots right down to the central core. Let's wrap it around, and with gratitude and consent to receive, putting ourselves in receiving mode of this beautiful Mother Earth energy. 7 to 25 hertz it is. It's all this computer stuff that doesn't allow us to stay connected to these lower hertz, these healing hertz and grounding hertz of Mother Earth. Let's bring it into our legs, into our knees and our thighs and our pelvis, our sacral, and bring it up into the abdomen, making sure we're engaging that lower diaphragmatic breath. That's our parasympathetic system. That's where we want to live, think, and be. Unless, of course, we need to survive. In case we need to react, we need to move. Our sympathetic, don't worry, our sympathetic will automatically engage in those scenarios. And bring it into the will center, that flame, and allow it to burn through all that does not serve us, and allow it to turn to ashes, to rebirth itself and feed and nourish the body. And into the heart area and the lungs, and allow it to expand as Mother Earth energy comes and bathes our shoulders and our arms down to our hands. Bring it up through the gateway of our neck and into our head and into this vastness. As it comes out the top of Sahasrara, we access it by opening that portal and allowing it to touch all our nerve endings on our body. See if you feel anything. Allow it to cascade 360 degrees around the body. And come into that centering and aligning, which is with a simple rock forward and sideways, or you can go in a little circle. As we call in that alignment, as we engage the Hara line from the center core of the earth up through the body, up through the top of the Sahasrara, a fine line to God, divine source, creator, higher self, higher consciousness, universal forces, through the solar system, through the galaxies, universe, and the cosmos, an undistracted superhighway to that which has many names. You pick. And again, accept, consent to receive this beautiful golden white light. I receive. Please heal everything and anything that is ready to be healed here and now, and offer it into every cell and every space in between each cell. Feeling the golden white light and the beautiful effervescence, the sparkle. Feel it. Do you feel it in the body as it comes in and enters into the gateway, allowing us to speak with love and our truth, for thy will, not my will. Allow it to come into the shoulders and down the arms and into the hands. So everything that we touch is with grace and compassion and love. Every action, as we take forward, we have this ability to move forward in that action. Today, from this place of divine love, as we open our heart even further, expand that to yourself and your whole body. Expand it to your family, to your city, your province, your country. Expand it to your continent, your globe. Expand it to all my relations. Expand it into the cosmos, the universe, for healing. And bring it into the lower abdomen and the hips and the legs. And share the wealth of this energy, because it is exponential, and into the knees and the calves, the ankles and the feet. And let's breathe it in. Let's take an exhale with sound. And release that end of that breath, that CO2, that carbon dioxide. I think there was one way, somewhere in one of these videos, and I don't know where it is, over the past 87. I think I called it carbon monoxide. I was like, I think I might have said that somewhere. Hopefully I can find it and correct it in the comments, but just give yourself a little chuckle if you heard me say that. As I did this morning, I'm going, anyway, no judgment, no fault or blame. It is what it is. It's with love. And let's go into our mantra meditation today, and revisit Soham. And in breathing in the so and exhaling the hum. A nice smooth breath, no pause, no jerks, no noise, and no judgment. I'll hold our cards for our offering today as we go into that 2-minute mantra meditation. This is our outro. Stay as long as you can. Stay longer if it's working for you today. Inhaling so. Exhaling hum. As we practice our stillness, our quiet, put up the do not disturb sign. If something floats in, kicks you out, come back to your breath. I want to check on your jaw, check on your tongue. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes and your cheekbones. Soften the corners of your mouth, turn them up a little bit. Relax your tongue. Relax your neck, your shoulders, your arms. Relax your heart area. Soften the chest, the stomach and the hips. Soften the legs, the knees, the calves, and the feet. Inhaling so. Exhaling hum. Wow. Congratulations. I think this is the first time that nobody's dropped off on the 2-minute meditation. We're getting there. Congratulations. Give yourself a big hug. Thank you for being here. I love you. It takes a while. Yeah. Huh. Little moment. And our offering today from the Mother. I'm turning on my spidey senses. What does the Mother want us to know today? And her guidance cards. There it is. Transformation. Well on your way. Well on our way. And so is the earth. Let each suffering pave the way to transformation. One thing you must know and never forget. In the work of transformation, All that is true and sincere will always be kept. Only what is false and insincere will disappear. Wow. Transformation. Let each suffering pave the way to transformation. One thing you must know and never forget. In the work of transformation, all that is true and sincere will always be kept. Only what is false and insincere will disappear. So when you go into this vastness and you work with the truth of who you are and yourself and your self-realization, don't worry about what you're going to lose. Don't worry what you're going to lose. And in this transformation of the earth and this time in the world, we hold that in our thoughts, that all that is false and insincere will disappear. Hallelujah. It's a long time coming. I love you. Great work. Make it a great day.